has had their second chance to participate and qualify into the Grand Finals. In this case, the Challenge Series so far, Goodfellas as well as Error 404, last chance, it's now or never. One of these teams will be advancing and one of this team will be eliminated. But in this case, who's it going to be? This time, Goodfellas, for the first time, taking blue side instead of the red side.
Yeah, taking a lot of priority and instantly goes for the Eve ban. So, definitely, understanding that there's a chance Aero 4 goes for the Eve. We've seen them prioritizing the Valentina in the previous game, but the fact that it's a mage player and how she uses that Eve ultimate, I think Goodfellas definitely have a read on that. But I am not really sure what is the direction that Goodfellas want to go for, because Aero 4 can just say, you know what, we're going to ban the Fredrin, and Goodfellas will have to kind of start off with a less optimal blind pick.
Okay. I guess if you put it that way, it's fine. Fredrin is still up for grabs here. They can still consider banning it off here and there. But at the same time, I feel like, I don't know why, people just don't like Artis, which is weird, Like, I know Kadita is something that they have to respect here. Whenever you see a Cambodia team, to a certain degree, you either ban the Johnson or Kadita. It's just something thanks to Impunity KH for bringing it to the table, right? It wasn't really brought out by them, it was by a different region, but it was pretty much solidified in their region for themselves. It's one of the strongest combos in their playstyles. But for them to actually prioritize Kadita, even though in this current patch, there are a lot of majors that still kind of brings a lot on the table. But I feel like Goodfellas, they're thinking from a perspective where they just want to shut off all the strong majors and just pick something else entirely for themselves.
I think they're targeting that mid lane.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fredrin ban out by Aero 4 kind of expected to a certain extent. Kaja also banned out by Goodfellas. So we're seeing a more different ban pool from both teams. Definitely whittling down that priority a bit. But of course, Aero 4 this last pick, I wonder what it's going to be, because the Joy is going to be banned out. Glue is now open again for Goodfellas.
Yeah.
The BRCD wants it.
Fanny is also open for grabs as well. But I think Glue is still subjective, right? Even if you pick first place Glue, there are still a lot of heroes actually deal with it as well. With Farsa, I think Faramis is one of the most underrated mages to deal with the Glue. Like, oftentimes I hate a Faramis mage, but Faramis benefits when you pop the wave and there's a lot of multiple units. The more units it does even more damage. And against a Glue, it can be very, very painful if you try to go for the first pick. However, for Goodfellas, they first picked the 1-1. I like it, but there is still a lot of ways to deal with it as well. There's Phobia's compositions. There is also Lolita composition, which is pretty decent as well, coming from Aero 4 if they decide to go for it. But Valentina up for grabs, Glue as well, pretty much no-brainers. But do they want to risk it? That's going to be the question.
In fact, this does put Lolita up the list of heroes that you are considering, right?
Yeah.
You gotta really have that shield up. I guess Valentina still isn't the worst opener. We've seen examples of that. You caught it, Phobius. Here it is. Try and dash this time.
Yeah.
Infinite resets, honestly.
It's tough, Like, there are some experienced players here, they know how to deal with the Phobius, but there are some experienced players that just doesn't know how to deal with the Phobius. So
you don't see it often, right?
Yeah, it's very rare, but at the same time, it's still manageable, right? Even if the Phobius is dashing onto 1-1, you can use the 1-1 as a bait to isolate the Phobius and take him out. So it's going to be even more crucial for the Demonic Force coming in from Aero 4 to play the Phobius. But at the same time, this pretty much opens up the Glue for Goodfellas to pick it up. Either or Roam or XP, which is something that I think they're really, really good at and take advantage of.
And we see the Franco. It's just an instant response and the Esmeralda from Goodfellas.
I like it. Like, if you go for Demonic Force, instantly, boom, Bloody Hunt, dead. That Phobius is pretty much done and dusted here. So I like the solution. I like the answer. Pretty good as well. Lolita isn't too bad from Aero 4 gives a value shields, kind of acts like a tankier enchanter player, gives shields to his Phobius as well. It's not that bad, but Esmeralda completely negates that. So this is going to put Aero 4 in an awkward situation where do they want to give the Esmeralda power spike, or do they force the Lolita, making sure that the 1-1 can't do what he's required to do. In this case, I feel like straight to the point, very simple. Pick it because Esmeralda is not as strong as before. Like, a Kaja would be more sustained, like has more sustains than Esmeralda. Damus a little bit more sustainable. I think what's it called again? The Lapu Lapu would be a little bit better as well.
Well, Arrow 404 still sticks to the Archive. I guess it's a comfort jungle pick for them. I mean, there's still an opening for another tank, right? For a secondary tank. But right now, I feel like they are looking to really start taking out those mages, and also something like a Farmis. I'm not really sure if that Farmis, I'm not really sure if I like it, but I can kind of understand that it's already tough to get onto the 1-1. You don't want a Farmis to keep that 1-1 alive for no longer than she should be.
I'm surprised. I'm really surprised by these bans here coming in. Like considering that Marty's Glue completely ignored. Don't know why. I feel like they're just so strong, so annoying to deal with. But it feels like Arrow 404, even if they decide to, you know, in worst case scenarios, right? Like if the glue manages to sneak past and they pick the glue for themselves, isn't too bad. They can actually tank through all the 1-1 damage, and 1-1 just can't exactly do too much in these scenarios. But I personally would have preferred that. Like at least just ban off the glue and pick something else and just focus on something else. But when it comes to mage departments, Goodfellas, they have so much options, right? You've got Lunox, you've got Farsa, you've got Lilia as well, which kind of gives a lot of value. But at the end of the day, they have one of the strongest mages so far from Arrow 404. And I don't think there are a lot of options that they can actually take advantage of. Whereas Goodfellas, they just need to find a way to deal with the Akai, or maybe even the Phobias, and that should be it.
So if just a thought, right? So Arrow 404 wants to just kind of dive in with Archive and Phobias. Doesn't that make Valor an optional pick for Goodfellas?
Valor. Yeah, now that you think about it, Valor is pretty good because the ultimate stolen from the Valor just gives you like a free Purify for it. But aside from that, it just doesn't bring a lot of value into the team fight. So I think Valor isn't too bad as well. Even if they downsize themselves, get a weaker mage, they still have Esperosa to kind of compensate in terms of magical damage. But now the question here is, is this guaranteed a jungle Akai? Most likely it's going to be the case for Arrow 404. But for Goodfellas, I feel like they are lacking in terms of jungler. So they definitely need something else. The Link didn't exactly work out in their favor. They should just double down on just playing something safer. Like if they want to go for a tank jungler, go ahead. They want to go for Lance a lot jungler, which I highly doubt so. They can go ahead. But with the carry sneaking past all phase of ban into this game, going for a tank jungler isn't a good idea right now for Goodfellas. It's a terrible idea.
But considering how Goodfellas were banning out the, both Lolita and Atlas, you can't understand, right? You want to allow this 1-1 to really start popping off and to really get going. But the fact that around Goodfellas kind of have this picks, and after seeing that carry as well, means that Arrow 404 is just saving that last pick to flex this Archive, which I still don't think Goodfellas is going to be too bothered. This Archive is most likely going into jungle anyways. But the Benedetta shows up. This is something that you did point out in game 1, I think, for Arrow 404. And we see the Xavier as well. Completely forgot about this one.
I love this. I like this. I like this Benedetta pickup just because of how split push pressure is going to be so difficult for Arrow 404. The Petrify covers a very, very wide variation with the Electro Final Blow. The Xavier Dawning Light is not exactly the best skill for a Valentina to steal, right? And even if you were to steal it, it's very often times that the Xavier is going to be so far back, and he is going to get free damage across the map. So I guess I like the Benedetta from Goodfellas, but Arrow 404, they still have a lot of options, and this is by far the most balanced drop out of all the 3 games so far come from both teams. And this final pick, they do need that jungle. And sorry, not jungle, roamer / jungle, unless they're playing the
They're going for the Ube again, but I feel like we've seen this before.
Okay, fine. This game, Ube, I like it a little bit more. Like, just because the Ling didn't exactly help out, they needed all 5 to be here. The Ube will be a little bit better, but
if this
if this was on Goodfellas, but now it's gonna be Arrow 404 to play it, so I'm a bit skeptical, but I want to see it work.
As long as this Phobias doesn't fly 10 miles away, I guess it's okay.
Yeah.
But no, it just reminds, right, we saw this example of a Xavier into an Archive where you just stop him from any engage. I think this is a good example as well. And you also make sure that if this Phobias jumps in with his ultimate, he just gets chain stunned until he dies. There is an answer from Goodfellas, and I'm really liking this. Benedetta jungle as well. What a treat.
Yep, I'm looking forward to see how it all goes down. But as you can see, this is going to be the decider match for both these teams here. One of them is going to be eliminated, and one of them will proceed to go up and climb the ranks on the lower brackets. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the lower brackets round 8 match number 1. Final game so far. Is it going to be Goodfellas or is it going to be Error 404? One of these teams will make it. But without further ado, we're going to be jumping straight into game. This is going to be game number 3 for both Goodfellas as well as Error 404.
Yep.
In this case, both teams going to be playing on a different approach here. This time, it is going to be a Jungle Benedetta coming in for Goodfellas.
Yeah, definitely don't see this often, but obviously one of the heroes with a higher mechanical ceiling, but absolutely deadly in the right hands.
You know what's a fun fact? You need to get this Oni Franco. Like, it's so expensive, but it's one of the very few skins that gives you a slight buff in terms of the hook range. Just kind of similar to one of the Selena skins.
Oh,
Just
really?
can't remember which it. Yeah. This is a little bit of fun fact.
So it actually increases hook
Yeah.
rate.
Only for this skin. It's broken. To a certain degree. Tested, by the way. Tested.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I will be a bit more careful next time I see a Franco on enemy team.
With an Oni skin, yeah.
Oni skin.
In terms of range and in terms of hitbox as well, it's a little bit slightly bigger, which is weird.
But did force the flicker out of Yamikaze, so that's a good opening. Oh, Azu shows up. Already level 4. Gotta be really careful. I mean, he's just gonna go right in. Just a bit of a chip damage onto both Yamikaze and Lord Ricky, but can't find a finisher. Not yet.
Well, seems to be. It is going to be a little bit of a slow push coming from both sides. Both teams playing very respectfully from each other. Meanwhile, Teddy Cutie is going to get harassed by this carry. And now, finally, they set up the SS on towards the gold lane, making sure that this gold lane is going to be able to solidify this fight. And this carry is going to have one of the best times of their life. And this is the perfect game for them to actually play this slow coming from Error 404. Turtle will be started off from the side of Goodfellas. They're setting up the position so far. Meanwhile, Lord Ricky is already up there to contest the bottom side. And they're a little bit afraid, and which is weird considering that they should be able to contest this, but Turtle being pulled in, but the hook comes in, it is going to connect, and Yamikaze going to be taking a little bit too much damage, but the heals from Estes will keep him alive. Saber going to keep him in check, but at the same time, they just don't have the damage, but eventually BRCD will get the first blood onto his Natsu on the sides instead.
Azu actually missing that Electro final blow, but this Turtle still within chances of stealing it. No, can't get it. Azu loses his life. A good attempt from Goodfellas nonetheless though, and the hook a bit out of range. While all of that was happening, Teddy QT is having a field day up top, just cashing in on that turret shoe.
Oh, feels good. That's a feels good moment right there. He just got his corrosion side 3 minutes in the game. This is one of the fastest timings so far we've seen. Pretty sure he did not go for the shoes, I guess, as Goodfellas is going to be farming his way through. So I guess in this kind of scenarios, Error 404 is going to try and double down on the marksman lane once again. He's roaming here.
Yeah, Cloven shows up, but just it's the timing a bit
Oh,
off. Sorry, team. Ooh, so close. Yamikaze almost walked into that one.
That was just a pixel off. Like, it's
Honestly,
so unfortunate. It's so very unfortunate. He needed a kill in that process as well. But it seems like both sides just playing it slow, playing it very, very carefully as well based on this fight. In terms of itemization as well, we do see the Motor Nasus pick up coming from Lord Ricky, potentially going for a dominant as well, but also another corrosion side pickup coming in from 4 Secret. So this is going to be a mirror marksman fight up. But on contrast as well, Teddy QT will lose in terms of mobility until he builds up some serious attack speed, which we would most likely see in a couple of like 2 to 3 more items progression. This is where Goodfellas, he is going to rely on Teddy QT. So Error 4-4 once again, trying to make a setup, try and punish Teddy QT. Unfortunately, they do scout out this rotation, so Goodfellas will be a-okay. Dawning Light being expended as well, to going for a couple of bush checks here and there. But Error 4-4, they're looking for fights, but they just can't. It's very difficult to do so. But no, Clovens, he steals the Bloody Hunt instead from DeFranco.
Yeah, and while that was happening, Nasu also got pushed out from lane as well. They're actually gonna try and engage with the Archive, just pinning this Soriumthin into the wall. An easy kill, just in time for the turtle to spawn. And the best part is 4 Secret now, he's 2-0. Gifted both kills throughout the game, and now Turtle goes over to Arrow 404. Lead continues to extend.
Yeah, this is going to be a very, very convincing fight as well coming from Arrow 4. They will take Turtle as well. And this is actually the dream game for this Estes, right? You think about it, level 6, barely enough kills. The economy-wise, still 50-50s, 1k in their favor. This is the perfect game for Arrow 4. Meanwhile, Soramdin looks for the hook once again. Doesn't seem to connect once again. And this is not good at all, considering that he needs to be starting to hit those insane hooks. But eventually, when it comes to Franco, it's not about all the hooks that miss. Because one right hook will completely change the fight in your favor.
It's just the simple nature of these kind of heroes, right? You can miss 10 hooks, but if you land on one that does count, that's all you need. BRCD has been uncontested so far. Right? He got he was the one who got the first blood solo kill onto Natsu. Right now, he's gonna get gone on. Darling like piercing through, but man, for secret.
That's huge. That's huge.
Completely destroying this Esmeralda.
Yeah, very smart as well. But now Hanzu is going to go in for the wave clear as well. He's going to be a little bit of an awkward position. Heavy Speed comes in, trying to isolate Franco, but they need to make quick work. Great catch coming from Clover Z as well. And just like that, Goodfellas, the losing members left, right, front, and center. Arrow 4 now with 4 secret, 3-0-1. Just got his golden staff. This carry is going to hit like a truck. Perfect timing for Arrow 4 as well, considering that they went for the lane swap as soon as Natsu hit his level 7 up top. And they know for a fact that now Natsu is going to be having an okay time against Teddy QT in terms of itemization, in terms of damage output. He's got the Clock of Destiny as well. So it's all about mirroring themselves. In this case, Teddy QT needs to be a little bit more careful because this Phobius is looking for those dives soon.
And I mean, sorry, Amtin still can't find the hooks. For secret, getting out of control. Golden Staff, Corrosion side. That's 2 very big core items completed. 3-0-1. The turtle spawns, and I don't think Goodfellas can contest this. Azu seems like he wants to try, but is there a way in? And what's the point? Is there into the wall? Damage to take him out.
This is going to be tough considering how things are happening here. But based on change from Starboy, so Starboy still
down, but Natsu might die as well. For secret is gone. The Phobius ultimate not enough. As Cloven, he was something. Able to trade Teddy QT back, but Goodfellas finally find a good fight.
Oh, good play coming from Arrow 4. They were able to capitalize on this, but as soon as I say that, we talk about the biggest, fattest hook. That's got to be the biggest, fattest hook for Goodfellas to keep things alive. Things would have looked over if he did not clutch it, and fortunately for him, he was able to equalize the score. And this time, Goodfellas, they will have the economy lead in their favor.
Yeah, what a team fight, honestly. I mean, Arrow 4 went for the dive. Would have worked out if they just killed off Teddy QT, but he got his ultimate off in time. The mid-tier one still stands. It's gonna go down with just a gust of a wind, but now Lord spawns. Most important part of the game, but unfortunately for Goodfellas, they're not remotely close. Hook expanded as well, so Arrow 4 will get a free Lord.
Yeah, this is going to be the Lord coming in. Starboy still needs a couple more items before he can actually pop off. In this case, he's very close to his Lightning Trunkin, and once that comes in, this is where you will see the power of Xavier coming in. BRCD now going to be checked in with the heavy spin. He will be forced to go in for the Stormwood, forcing Stormwood to back out. But he's going to be okay. But Arrow 4, they still have the Lord in their favor, so he's going to be good for now.
And you see Azu, he's just buying as much time as possible. Sees Yamikaze, doesn't have the damage to kill him off. And now Natsu, oh, he's around. Azu needs to get out of it. So far, the Lord in Arrow 4's favor is going to try and start shoving down that top wave. And Arrow 4 just making sure that Goodfellas are not able to intercept it early. You can see that they have both Yamikaze and Force Secret in the on the top side as well.
Very, very difficult situation to be in here, especially for Goodfellas. But Arrow 4, they need to find a couple pickoffs here. They still have Azu going for the split push here to try and draw aggression. Unfortunately, Arrow 4, they're not taking the bait. They are going to double down on the Lord instead. So, Goodfellas, they have to hunker down into his space until this 1-1 hits those level 14s. Hook comes in, doesn't connect. So, no hook available. Arrow 4 in prime position to take this tier 3 heavy spin to isolate the fight. But no, they're going for the dive. They pick off Teddy QT, and that is huge. They get another one as well. They completely collapse on Goodfellas, and just like that, they lose more. They might lose even another one as well. The hook comes in, and that's going to be a triple kill for Force Secret. However, he's taking a little bit too much damage, but he somehow survives it all. He gets the quad as well, and that is going to be the full team wipe as Arrow 4 wins game number 3, and he will advance.
I just gotta say, man, for Secret, my MVP of the entire series, game 2 and 3, absolutely carrying his entire team. Brody in game 2, carry on game 3. And this, I mean, for Goodfellas just